The #1 defender.
I can always tell where you're going to do it. I know where you're going to do it because you get that look. Like,
oh, I'm going to send him a direct note.
What's he like?
Like, that's not fair to say. Yes.
Jamie wants to choke him to death. Hey, Greg. Sit there if you want. Starts in 2 weeks, though, right? It starts the Monday we leave. I can't hear you. I'm not hearing you very well. Okay. See Voracek and Giroux there? Voracek gave the penance and Voracek gave
did he? I guess I should pay attention. I was reading about Pikachu.
25-year-old Cal Pickard from Winnipeg will get the start and goal for Canada. And there is the head coach of the Czech national team, Josef Jandac, who was also their head coach of the World Cup of Hockey back in September. And for Canada, John Cooper behind the bench in his 4th year as the coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning. He has experience with 2 different countries coaching internationally. He was assistant coach for Team USA a long time ago at the Ivan Olinka Summer Tournament. Was an assistant coach for Team North America at the 2016 World Cup. And there is Radko Gudas, who played for Cooper in Tampa and in Norfolk in the American League. And Mark Scheifele, one of 11 Canadian players who has been part of at least one of the last 2 World Championship teams. Knee knockers so far earlier today in this ring. Finland beat Belarus by a score of 3-2. In Cologne, it took a shootout for Russia to beat the Swedes. At this hour, the United States is opening against the host Germans in Cologne.
I would suspect this game, Gord, will be played at a lot different pace than what we saw in the opener, where both the Finns and Belarus sat back in the neutral zone, played a very conservative style game. This, I would suspect, from the Canadian perspective at least, will try to be much more aggressive than the earlier game.
And underway here in Paris. Jakub Voracek starts for the Czechs. He'll face 5 Philadelphia Flyer teammates in this game and was giving it to Claude Giroux before the game. In comes Mark Scheifele now. Scheifele, the Lions there in the corner with Lucas Radl. Centering pass goes to Ryan O'Reilly. A quick shot that deflects off the glass, up and out of play.
Well, Ryan O'Reilly's out on the wing here on the right side with Skinner and Scheifele to start this evening's game. A member of the last 2 gold medal winning teams for Canada. His versatility is always a large asset for whoever's coaching him. One of the league's best face-off men. John Cooper will have that at his disposal, of course, throughout this tournament.
Claude Giroux, Matt Duchene, and Nathan McKinnon, the forward line now for Canada. All 3 of those players have won the World Championship before. And Giroux wears the C as Canada's captain here in 2017. Michael Kempney of the Chicago Blackhawks off the face-off win, throws that ahead. And David Pasternak steers that towards Pickard. Matt Duchesne. And that pass roll off his stick, and Thomas Buchanan plays it back in for the Czechs. Here's Buchanan battling there with Duchesne. And now Giroux picks it back out. An energetic, boisterous crowd here tonight. Mostly Czech. Fueled by the fan zone outside.
Always a popular hangout at the World Championships.
Especially when it was in Prague. Now an icing call against the Czechs here in the opening moments.
The Czechs have a couple open spots on their roster, 3 of them. They're waiting for possible adds to their team. Would like to add some NHL players if they can.
So if St. Louis were to lose out?
Might be Vladimir Sobotka, which would also open up Vladimir Tarasenko for the Russians, among others.
Braden Shen steps in for the face-on. 2 years ago, Shen was going to be in Canada's top 9 forward group, but Sidney Crosby arrived and Pittsburgh lost in the first round, and Shen lost his spot in the lineup, never complained, and won over a lot of those who didn't know him with his attitude at that World Championship. Alex Killorn picks it out. Crisscrossing there. And the pass knocked away from Michael Matheson. Matheson, who was named the top D at last year's tournament. And that knocked away. Now Canada regroups as Alex Killorn picks it up. And here's Matheson with it. Florida Panther plays it back for Josh Morrissey, who played for Canada in 2 World Junior Championships. And for Wayne Simmons, he lost it. And Repik plays it ahead now for the Czechs. Working in that shot. Taken there by Peter Vrana. Knocked away by Pickard. Repik tries to center it. Matheson left it there for Morrissey. Now Morrissey has it go off his skate. And scooped up by Marc-Edouard Vlasic. Vlasic arrived here after San Jose got knocked out. His clothing, however, took a couple of days. He was lined up at the airport baggage counter trying to figure out exactly where his luggage was. His equipment got here okay.
Which, if you're going to get something, you want your gear to show up. The gear, the clothes, you can figure out somewhere else.
Bouncing puck in front, knocked away by Jason Demers. Out to center ice it goes to Radko Gudas. And Gudas fires it in. Pickard knocks that away. Gudas, a second-generation Czech national. Now it's turned over to backhand shot. Goes high and wide. Horak got that shot away. Pickard got a piece of that. Now a centering pass, and Pickard gets a pat on that. A great chance a moment ago for Roman Horak of the Czechs. Brought in now by this kid line for Canada. 21-year-old Braden Point centering 20-year-old Travis Konechny and 20 years old today, Mitch Marner. So Point, the grand old man on that line at the age of 21.
Much like it is in the NHL, the willingness to rely on young players now is so much more apparent.
Tyson Barrie goes back on Czech captain Jacob Voracek. Voracek spins, plays it across. Bounced away from Jan Kovac. Now back at the point, the line is held by Michael Kempney. Centers it there for Voracek. Voracek centers it again. Back by Radill, and now kicked away by Pickard. Scheifele up for Barrie. Barrie had broken his stick. Here's Kempney with it. Slaps it down to Kovac. He centers it. And Lucas Radill spins it back. Kempney a shot that blew his stick in half. Now a chance for Canada. Scheifele against Kempney, who has no stick. Scheifele tries to put that through his feet. And it's scooped up and moved out by Radill.
It's a really good play by Michael Kempney. He's at such a disadvantage against Mark Scheifele, who was able to use his size and strength, but Kempney stayed right in front of him and got some help to clear the puck out of the zone.
Josh Morris, he tries to center that for Matt Duchesne. And the puck loose in the Czech zone. These teams last met in the 2015 tournament, the quarterfinals. Canada a 2-0 win. Actually beat the Czechs twice in that tournament. But what stood out from that game wasn't so much the result, but the ovation for Jaromir Jagr at the end of it.
One of the most amazing scenes that I have been around to watch. The building just exploded.
Thomas Buchanan swept that in, and they're going to call that a hand pass, and the face-off will come outside, and Buchanan didn't like the call.
And Roman Horak's going to get the game's first chance. The puck is cleared by Jason Demers. It deflects off a Czech forward stick into the front of the net to Roman Horak. Horak played 84 games in the National Hockey League, a 5th-round pick by the Rangers in '09, and he tried to chip the backhand up over Cal Pickard, and Pickard was able to blocker it away.
More than half of these Czech players have played in North America, either in junior, as Radko Gudas did, or in minor pro in the National Hockey League. And Pickard hangs on to that as Repik goes looking for it. Repik, a former Vancouver Giant.
Gudas' shot hits right onto the maple leaf for Pickard, and Radko Gudas is a mean piece of business on the ice. And if I'm playing forward on the other team, I always want to know Gudas, one of those players, where he is on the ice, because you know he's going to run through you if he gets a chance.
Shots are 4-0 in favor of the Czechs here in the early going. The opening day of the 2017 World Hockey Championship. Vrana tries to knock that down. And Vrana throws it back in the corner where Dahan goes back to pick it up for Canada. Or Vlasic, rather. And now a bouncing puck wide of the goal as Vlasic gets it back. Now Demers being forechecked there by Radek Šimek.
Well, the Czechs are really aggressive here in the first 5 minutes. That's their defenseman, Šimek, getting all the way down in the corner on the low pinch.
Vlasic lays out ahead. Now walking, connecting a long shot. The save made by Mrazek. And there's Canada's first shot of the game. It comes more than 5 minutes into the first period. Now the pass picked off, and Thomas Zahorna comes away. Zahorna looks in deep for Horak. He's tied up, and Marner has it back for Canada. Mitch Marner up ahead for Konechny, busting in with point. Konechny taken down. And this breathtaking pace continues here in the first period. Now off the end boards it goes, and a quick shot taken there by Zahorna. And the glove save is made by Cal Pickard.
What a nice play by Thomas Zahorna as he uses the end boards to chase down his own pass. And Pickard with the glove stop. That's a really good read by Zahorna. As the Canadians have 2 defensemen back, he chips it through them. In the yellow part of the boards here, we saw in the first game, Belarus and the Finns. And on that play, the yellow part is pretty lively, and the Czechs manufacture a chance out of it.
Face-off won by Kovacs, played across to Voracek as his top line goes to work for the Czech. Voracek, tied up there by Dahan, and now flipped wide by Krejcik. Not to be confused with David Krejci, who has still not arrived here. The Czechs are hopeful that he might be among those who can come late. Ryan O'Reilly. A rolling puck, plays it back to center ice. Picked up by Tyson Barrie, who fires it down to the Czech zone. Here's Scheifele on it now. Scheifele centers it, O'Reilly, a chance, scores! Scheifele centers, O'Reilly pokes it home, and Canada's got a 1-0 lead.
Canada's had almost no time in the offensive zone. When they get the puck into the zone and start their first real forecheck, it's Mark Scheifele who's going to take this Tyson Barrie chip into the corner. Look at Scheifele use his size to shield the puck, but he pulls it back way too easily away from Jakub Krejcik, and Ryan O'Reilly steps into the slot ahead of the back-checking Czech forward. Nothing they can do about it either. It beats Mrazek, and it's 1-0. What a play by Scheifele. Scheifele exploded as a #1 center this year. A true look of what a #1 center should be. Size and skill. Able to drive play, and 82 points this year. His assist sets up O'Reilly. Canada's on the board.
Now Nathan McKinnon comes in. Ryan O'Reilly has won gold medals for Canada in the last 3 international competitions in which he's played. The World Cup last September and the previous 2 World Championships. Šimek throws that back down to the Canadian zone. Pickard out to play it. And again, there's no prohibition on goaltenders playing the puck anywhere they like. There's no trapezoid in international hockey. That pass goes off a skate, knocked down by Duchesne, and Matt Duchesne winds out. That goes off a skate. And now Pickard knocks it away. Disappointing year for Matt Duchesne with Colorado. Scored 3 goals his last 39 games. Just 18 on the year.
Trade rumors swirling all around him for most of the year, and his year just collapsed around him.
Puck into the Canadian bench. 12:57 to go here in the first period. Canada leads the Czechs 1-0. Ryan O'Reilly of the Buffalo Sabres from Varna, Ontario. Of course, traded by Colorado to the Sabres a couple of years ago, then signed the richest contract in Sabres history. 7-year deal with them. And they stake Canada to an early 1-0 lead with its 8th career goal for Canada at the World Hockey Championship. Claude Giroux steps in for the face-off. The Czechs, by the way, are the home team, have the last change tonight. And Kovac wins the face-off back. Shot floats wide from Krejcik. And there's Kovac back on it. Jan Kovac, who led the KHL in playoff points with Magnitogorsk because they got to the KHL final this year. And Kovac keeps battling. Voracek tries to feed that back. Ruta's moved up from the point. And Braden Chen tries to knock that free for Canada. Now Kovac back on it for Voracek. And he gets Ruta back out to center ice, and retreating to pick it up is Krejcik. They'll call that icing against the Canadian.
Well, as the Czechs have had the early portion of the play, a much more up-tempo game than we saw earlier today. Tyson Barrie's going to chip the puck into the zone, but Mark Scheifele makes such a heads-up play, uses his reach to get to the puck. He shields the Czech defender Krejcik away. Krejcik turns and gives Scheifele just enough room to find Ryan O'Reilly freely skating down the slot and giving Canada the early 1-0 lead.
Now Plekanec against Giroux for the face-off. Plekanec wins it back to Gudas. Roman Chervenka. Chervenka spins and shoots. That goes wide. And it's scooped up by Wayne Simmons. Simmons looks ahead for Shen. That pass misfires. And a point comes on for Canada. By the way, Sean Couturier not in the lineup for Canada. Last-minute decision. Couturier battling an injury here. He has not yet been added to the Canadian roster, so Canada, if Couturier can't play, can replace him. Once a player, though, is named, you can't use that spot. Canada, however, has 3 open places on the roster to add players should it choose to do so. Last year added Ryan Ellisley.
Marner just got hit in the face with a clearing pass.
And it's on his birthday. Marner goes off. DeHaan back with it. Fires it down for Canada. Konechny got a stick on that. Now Point plays it back in, and Travis Konechny digs it out. In comes Konechny. End of a long shift for him. He plays it back for O'Reilly. Loose behind the goal. Nifty move there by O'Reilly to keep his stick on the puck. And now Scheifele back on it. O'Reilly kicks that back towards the front of the goal. These two go back to work. O'Reilly plays it back to Vlasic. Chipped back in deep by O'Reilly as they wear down the Czech defense. Scheifele picks it out. Mark Scheifele feeds it back. In comes Skinner, a shot. And the save is made by Mrazek.
Well, you're right, Gord. The Czechs are exhausted as Canada was able to get through 2 lines. And this is Jeff Skinner coming off the bench. The tail end of that shift as Konechny went to the bench for that chance. Here's the Pasternak clear. It hits Marner right in the neck.
And Marner's cut.
Oh, he's cut just below the shield. Happy birthday. That one's going to smart. Staying on the bench, so.
However, he cannot go back on the ice if he's bleeding, and the officials will check that. Referees are Stefan Vanselius from Finland and Stefan Renault from the United States. Scheifele throws it back in the corner, finds Skinner. And Jeff Skinner looks back to O'Reilly, who tees that up and pounds it wide. On the line by Demers. Looks back in deep, and this forward line for Canada is living in the Czech zone. Vlasic up for Demers, chipped out of the Czech zone, and Mrazek leaves it there for Jakub Jarabek, who just signed with the Montreal Canadiens after spending this season with Vityaz Podolsk, the KHL, a team in suburban Moscow. And there is a look at Roman Horak, who played junior in North America, played 8 games or 84 games out of for Calgary and Edmonton in a brief NHL stint.
First time as the head coach for Josef Jandak. The 48-year-old has got some pretty talented people on either side of him on the bench. Vinny Prospel and Jaroslav Spacek are on the coaching staff, 2 longtime NHL players.
By the way, Jarabek has been compared by the Czechs to spot check, a late bloomer. And a penalty now coming to Canada as it's touched up in center ice by Matheson. And Duchesne's into it with guess who? Radko Gudas.
There's some players when you get to the World Championships
Look out.
that you don't know much about them. Everybody on the Canadian side knows Radko Gudas, and Giroux gets taken down here. I'm almost, my view almost is that Giroux gets taken down by the linesman.
I think they're going to take Gudas off in this exchange as well now.
There's the penalty as Giroux's on his knees. He jabs Kovac in the stomach. So Giroux going to the bench, barking at his teammate Radko Gudas.
Gudas began this year with a 6-game suspension for running Austin Charnock of the Boston Bruins. Second time he's been suspended.
So 4 games, or 4-on-4 hockey.
Well, right now the Giroux penalty is the only one on the board.
Yeah, the official just held up 4-and-4, though I don't think, here comes the other two.
No, Gudas gets the other one. So not a power play now, as there's a penalty to Gudas at the end of that exchange. When Tampa drafted Radko Gudas, Steve Yzerman asked their chief scout, is that the son of the guy that played for the Czechs in the 80s? And their chief scout said, yeah, it is, but I hated that guy.
I watched Radko Gudas play in Everett. He played 1 year in junior. He went through the draft, was drafted as a 19-year-old, and he was a wrecking ball, a terror as a 19-year-old defenseman. Can you imagine some 16-year-old kid coming up the middle of the ice, and here comes Radko Gudas?
In comes Voracek now. Voracek on the 4-on-4, rolls it down towards the goal, and Pickard able to hang on as Kovac takes a late whack at him.
Voracek finds open ice, and he's going to drive it straight to the net. The Czech captain had some open room, and he wants to take this puck. He's trying to shoot it initially through Matheson's feet, use Matheson as a screen. He doesn't get a lot on it. Voracek, who led the Flyers in scoring this year with 61 points, back for another go here with the Czechs.
They're jumping in Cologne. Tobias Rieder is over the scoring for the Germans, 1-0 against the United States. A few years ago, those two teams played outdoors at the World Championship in front of 78,000 people. Back at the point, here's Šimek. Plays it across, Pasternak a shot, that was blocked by Duchesne. 9.5 to go here in the opening period. Canada leads 1-0. And Kondratek has that bounce away as Nathan MacKinnon goes streaking in on him. And MacKinnon gives Kondratek a run into the end boards as Plekanec brings it back for the Czechs. Crossing goes to Pasternak. Czechs are changing. Pasternak centers it, just missed Plekanec with that pass. And Plekanec drops it back. The return pass goes to Krejcik. In shoots, and Pickard got the blocker on that. Jarabek works it down to Pasternak. Pasternak being watched there by Barry. Plays it down low to Berner. Michael Berner lost the handle. MacKinnon has it back, looks ahead, it's knocked down by Point. In comes Braden Point alone, shoots, and Mrazek just got a tip of his glove on that to knock it away.
It's a huge save for Mrazek as Braden Point got out ahead of the pack and almost gets it over the glove of Mrazek.
What a year for Braden Point, who made the Tampa Bay Lightning out of training camp as a 20-year-old, and then put up 18 goals in 68 games.
John Cooper just loved the way that he could rely on Point, that his game made other people productive, that he could use them in different spots on the ice.
Marner back up, turns it over, and a great chance for Repik, knocked away by Pickard.
Marner gets caught with the overhandle, and Repik turns around, and after Mrazek makes a terrific stop on Point, Repik is blockered away by Pickard, who's made 3 or 4 really nice stops here in the first 12.5 minutes.
Now Konecny fires it in. Wayne Simmons goes on the hunt for it for Canada. And the puck centered and knocked away carefully by Robin Hansel. Horak works in. Pivots back, throws it back in front. Couldn't find Hansel with that pass, and Simmons has it back. Off the glass for Schenn. Now Killorn looking for it. Kempney knocked that away. Back and forth they go here in the first period. This is not your father's Czech Republic.
A really aggressive start for them. I like the way they played this period.
Shots are 9-4 in favor of the Czechs as Gudas back on the ice knocks it ahead. Shen trying to pick that up. And now Kovacs brings it back for the Czechs. In comes Kovacs, drops it off. Radil in, shoots, fired it just wide. Kovac. Back in the line is Gudas. Winds and shoots, was off the leg of Simmons and wide. And now Gudas swings back to pick it up. 6.5 to go here in the first period. Fired down and a race for it. The race is won by Cervenka to keep the play alive. Pasternak gets it now. David Pasternak winds across the top on the goal line. Rather sends that ahead and Cervenka couldn't tap it home. Cervenka back with it. Knocked down by DeHaan. And the race for it now is Scheifele goes in on Krejcik. Off the center ice for Cervenka. He's tied up by O'Reilly. And O'Reilly tries to poke that ahead. Lakanitz knocks it down and feeds the puck back to Krejcik. Krejcik. Flush there by Scheifele. Drop down for Kudratek. There's Kudratek. Spent 2 years with the Washington Capitals. Played 30 games for them over that time. In comes Repik. His centering pass is blocked by Duchesne. Chance for a quick counterattack, but it's knocked down at center ice by Kudratek. Vlasic gains the Czech line and a penalty coming in behind the play. An interference call will go against Canada. The Czechs in the power play when we come back.
Team Canada, number 29, 3 minutes, interference.
On va vous inviter à bouger, bien sûr, avec nos Astérix Obélix.
McKinnon goes on for interference, and so the Czechs will go to the power play with 5:29 to go here in the first.
Yeah, the Czechs had a power play, but Radko Gudas flattened Claude Giroux in the scrum that ensued after Giroux's penalty. So this is the first power play for the Czechs in the tournament, the first penalty kill for Canada. And Alex Killorn and Matt Duchesne are doing a lot of talking on the ice here as while they can draw this stuff up on the board, and they have gone over penalty killing in their meetings. They played the exhibition game against the Swiss, but trying to get their routes organized and figure out where each other's going to go on this penalty kill.
And the Czechs, like so many teams on both sides of the ocean now, use 4 forwards and 1 defenseman on the power play. Voracek feeds it back to Kempney. Michael Kempney back to Voracek. Winds in, has time, feeds it back door. That shot by Pasternak, he healed it. And it was blocked in front. Here's Kempney. Back to Pasternak. And back at the point is Kempney. Slides it down to Pasternak. Rink wide, he goes to Voracek. And the pass back at the point draws Kempney out, and the Czechs have to regroup. Michael Kempney's last professional goal was scored outdoors on January 2nd for the Blackhawks against St. Louis in the Winter Classic. Voracek, centering pass knocked down by Scheifele. And Scheifele banks it back down as Mrazek goes back, being watched there by O'Reilly. We've seen for the last 2 World Championships, Ray, as you mentioned, the versatility of Ryan O'Reilly. Power play, penalty kill, center, wing, you name it.
Yeah, nothing seems to bother him. He just has a really good head for the game, and what's impressed me throughout his career is how consistently productive he's become as well.
Ruda dropped that back for Cervenka, and the return pass drew him out. Lead pass for Roman Cervenka. Winds his way in, 35 seconds to go in the Czech power play. Here's Horak with it. Horak slides it back for Kudratek. Plays it across, and Ruta's shot. Pickard kicks that away. Loose in the corner now for Horak. And a penalty coming now to Canada as Cervenka was clipped with a high stick. And so the Czechs will get a two-man advantage here for 20 seconds. And the question is now, how long will this penalty be? As Mike Matheson will go off for Canada.
Yeah, it looks like just two, as I didn't see any blood there on Cervenka.
Roman Cervenka, former Calgary Flames, spent 1 year with them. The lockout shortened 2012-2013 season.
The high sticks right there as Matheson's trying to spin off him and get back into the play. Ooh, lucky it's not more than two. As Matheson sits, and the Czechs with a terrific opportunity to try and even this game before the end of the first period.
O'Reilly will take the drop against Horak.
Vlasic and DeHaan are the two defensemen on the ice. And
Horak picks that puck free off the face-off, and now DeHaan gets to it. A long shoot-around, but DeHaan gets it out. The one thing defensemen talk about, the big difference between small ice and big ice, how much further it is to get the puck out. Pasternak goes rink wide for Voracek. Final seconds now of the first penalty. On comes McKinnon. Czechs on the power play for a minute 38. Voracek winds and shoots. That's blocked by DeHaan. Horak on it. Plays it back in the corner for Kovac. Out the other side for Pasternak. The pass knocked away from Kovac. Voracek back on it. He was tied up by McKinnon. And now banked down the ice by Vlasic. Vlasic leaves it there for Kempney. Under 3 to go here in the opening period. Canada leads 1-0 on an early goal by Ryan O'Reilly. Shots are 10-4 in favor of the Czechs. Kudratek drops it off for Berner. Now the centering pass by Kudratek goes back to Ruta. That shot was blocked in front. And a chance short-handed as Kalor knocked that down the ice. But Duchesne couldn't reach the puck. Kudratek brings it right back, and Berner stepped in ahead. Back goes Kalor. Side step Cervenka. Backhands it high in the air, and Ruta knocks it down for the Czechs. 35 seconds to go in the power play. Berner slides it ahead for Plekanec. He falls in the corner. And Ruta goes rink wide. Finds Kudratek. Back for Ruta. In, Wade, shoots, hit the goal post. Bring it off the inside of the pipe. And now Kudratek lost the puck to O'Reilly. He's away with Scheifele. In they come, short-handed. The foot pass ahead for Scheifele. Loose in front, the puck rolled off his stick. What a feed by O'Reilly back to Scheifele. Now the puck goes into the Czech bench with 4 seconds to go in this Czech power play.
the Czechs come this close to tying the game up. A terrific play to slide it around Mark Scheifele. We're going to get a great look at it here from Pickard's view. He's trying to find the puck. There's Plekanec in front of the net with Berner as they've got the screen on. Pickard can't quite pick it up, and it rings off the inside of the pipe. It stays out.
So 3.5 plus minutes of power play time for the Czechs. They mustered one shot on goal. Matheson back on. It was 5-on-3 in there as well. It remains 1-0 Canada late here in the first period. Germany still leading the U.S. 1-0 late in the first in Cologne. Matheson picks it up for Canada, hit the point. Now Barry brings it in for Canada. Tyson Barry drops it. The pass is picked off by Robin Handel. Now intercepted again by Marner. In comes Mitch Marner, slides it across, connecting in. Oh, what a save by Mrazek! A terrific feed by Marner for connecting, and Mrazek makes a brilliant save.
He's made 2 grade A saves here in the first period. Hasn't had a lot of work, but he stopped the breakaway by point. And there he robs Konechny as that young line has had 2 of Canada's best chances in the first period.
Now McKinnon barreling in, fires it off the inboards, gets his own pass back and fires. Mrazek makes the save on that. Now McKinnon steals it back from Kovac. Gudas ties him up. Poke back for Demers. Rink wide he goes for Vlasic. Mark-Edward Vlasic in, shoots, and the glove save is made by Mrazek, and this time he'll hang on. Wow.
Marner steals the puck in center ice. He looks like he's going to shoot it. Look, Marner, we've seen him do this all year. Never once does he look at connecting. He's looking at Mrazek. He's trying to freeze Mrazek. And look at the read. 2 pushes from the left to the right for Mrazek. Aggressively to his blocker side to turn away Konechny's 15-foot attempt. But it all starts with Marner's ability to see the puck on his stick without looking at it, not looking at the player he's going to pass it to by using his peripheral vision, and then he puts it right on the tape. It's a great save by Mrazek.
Had an up and down year in Detroit. Won the job as the Red Wings' #1 netminder, lost it.
Actually an up and down and up year, because the year finished strongly for him. He really did lose the net. Jimmy Howard took over for about 6 weeks till he got hurt, and then with Mrazek basically as the #1 job in his hands, he couldn't hold it. He was inconsistent, didn't play very well. And by the end of the year, he was only able to get his save percentage just to 90. .901 at the end of the year.
By the way, Jimmy Howard, his Detroit teammate, is starting for the U.S. tonight against Germany. Off the draw, Scheifele a shot that goes off the skate and wide. Now Scheifele back with it. Down low to Skinner, a backhand shot, and Mrazek shuts that down. And now a penalty coming to the Czechs as Plekanec took down Skinner, a chance in front for Scheifele, and that deflects up over the glass and out. And now Skinner wants a word with Plekanec, and Thomas Plekanec is agitated. But it'll be Kempny who goes off.
Well, Kempny was arguing with the official about this hooking penalty right here. You're going to see his stick get stuck in Jeff Skinner while he's arguing about the penalty. O'Reilly comes in and feeds Scheifele in front of the net. Mrazek had to make another stop. So instead of arguing, keep playing until the whistle goes. But Mark Scheifele robbed from about 10 feet by Mrazek.
Now Barry on the Canadian power play, plays it back for Marner to Barry, winds and shoots and flicks right in front. McKinnon just missed that. McKinnon back with it for Barry. Time winding down here in the opening period. McKinnon back with it. Nathan McKinnon drops down the goal line. Scheifele, a quick chance, turned away in tight by Mrazek. And time expires here at the end of the first period. Canada will have 1 minute and 42 seconds of power play time to carry over to the second period with a 1-0 lead.
Ryan O'Reilly scored early, but Cal Pickard had an outstanding period in the Canadian goal as the Czechs really had some terrific chances. Canada comes on a little bit at the end and will start period 2 on the power play.
You're watching the 2017 World Hockey Championship from Paris on TSN.
Voilà, fin de la première période. Avec ce palais au début, c'est le record de cette période de 147 km/h. On a fait mieux tout à l'heure.
Le score après cette première période pour le Canada. Score after this first period 1-0 for Canada. You can find a few statistics on it.
Et oui, ça se passe sur les écrans d'écran de Télérama. Vous pouvez jeter un œil justement aux statistiques principales de cette première période.
And we will be seeing you during the second period for the respectively those meets that we want you to inflate this arena tonight, right here.
Alors, on est reparti. Vous êtes supporters du Canada, vous êtes supporters de la République tchèque. On va vous demander de faire un maximum de bruit. Allez, République tchèque, Canada, faites du bruit!
Calvin Pickard tested early by the Czech Republic, turns away all 10 shots he faces in the opening period as Canada has a 1-0 lead after the opening 20 and will open the second period on the power play as Michael Kempney has time to serve on his hooking penalty. It is day one of the 2017 World Hockey Championship from Paris and Cologne. Second period getting away in Cologne with the Germans leading the United States by a score of 1-0. Kempney has a minute and 42 seconds to go on his first period penalty. Right off the draw, centering pass for Simmons is knocked away by the Czechs, Radim Šimek.
Canada's power play has 3 Philadelphia Flyers up front, Giroux, Simmons, and Schenn. Schenn led the NHL with 17 power play goals. Simmons had 16 this year.
And now Simmons slides it ahead, but knocked down by Šimek.
And there's another Flyer killing penalties here, Radko Gudas.
We're in their accustomed role. There's Skinner with it now. Jeff Skinner works back in the corner. Skinner bangs it back to Matheson. In for Skinner, walks it and shoots, blocked by Gudas. Now Simmons digs it free. Skinner back with it, centers it, goes right back to the point to Giroux. Claude Giroux, a wrist shot goes high and wide, bounces down to Skinner. Feeds it back to Matheson. Long shot, score! Deflected in front, and Canada got a 2-0 lead on the power play goal.
Not sure if this is Braden Schenn that gets a stick on it, but that late penalty to Michael Kempney proves costly as the Czechs, who played an excellent first period, just 55 seconds into period 2 are down 2-0. Canada retrieves the puck, Skinner to Matheson, and Matheson's wrister from the point is going to be deflected towards the net. Oh no, it actually just hits Mrazek's glove and goes underneath Peter Mrazek. Through the screen, he's looking for it. The deflection was once it hit Mrazek's glove. I think this will be Michael Matheson's goal. And Canada's up 2-0 on a power play goal.
He had 2 goals last year for Canada, was named the top D-man in the World Championship in St. Petersburg and Moscow. That puck dipped at the last moment. And now Kovacs plays it across to Voracek. Canada had 5 shots on goal on that power play. Now Kovacs centers it, and the shot by Rattle is blocked. Now a centering pass. Kondratek walks in, and Pickard makes the glove save, snapping that out of the air.
Pickard has made some really good stops for Canada here in the first 21.5 minutes. Kondratek is right in tight, and he wants to go up on top of Pickard. You see Pickard shielding that low right side. He's got to get up, attack, push with the right foot, and make an excellent glove stop. 50 games Pickard played for Colorado this year.
Member of Canada's gold medal winning team a year ago. He played 2 games for the Canadians, had a save percentage of .971. Jarabek knocks that down, flips it wide of the goal. Now Plekanec loose in the corner, plays it around. Back to the point, it goes to Jarabek. That's picked off by McKinnon. In comes Nathan McKinnon, ducked around the referee. And Jarabek comes back on him. Now McKinnon digging for it down low. And McKinnon's got some words for the referee on the way by as he thought his breakaway was stymied.
Well, I'm sure the referee wanted to move too. It's probably a bad place to be.
Now to Hahn, a long wrist shot, and Mrazek able to make the save.
Well, Michael Matheson really played well last year at this tournament. Such a smooth skater. Thought he really asserted himself as the tournament went on. 7 goals this year in Florida. They talked about him being more of a matchup defender than a guy that was going to provide a lot of offense as they see his career playing out in front of him. But I think he skates too well and he gets the puck to the net to be a guy that won't produce much. I think there is some offense to Michael Matheson.
He was a first-round pick in 2012 with the Panthers. Skinner and Giroux draw the assist on the power play goal by Matheson. As Simmons tries to work that free, he's taken down by Repik. Michael Repik plays it back. Šimek a shot that goes off the leg of Simmons. Now Killorn swings back to pick it up. Alex Killorn, who plays for Canadian coach John Cooper with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Repik knocks it down and holds the line. His shot off the leg of Canada's Josh Morrissey and wide. Werner plays it back. Kempney a long shot. That goes wide as well through the screen. And Killorn waits for it. Plays it back for Braden Shen. And away comes Shen with it. Canada changing as Shen buys some time and banks it down to the Czech zone. Canada back in action on Sunday against Slovenia. The Czechs will play Belarus. Belarus beaten earlier today 3-2 by the Finns. They came back from 2-0 down to tie that game, and the Finns scored a late power play goal to take the lead. As that third attempt by Mrazek goes off the glass, up and out.
There's 2 pucks sitting in the mesh now.
Yeah.
Over top of the glass.
One from the warm-up.
Might want to clean that up before one of them falls onto the ice.
Or both of them.
It's one way to create offense. So now the Czechs have to find a way to make their good play pay off for them. They had, I would say, more of the difficult chances, although Canada came on late in that first period. They didn't get anything to show for it. Now they got to climb out of a 2-0 hole.
Oh, long pass in front for Demers. He's turned away by Mrazek.
And these young guys, that's another terrific play. This one, Konechny all the way across the seam to Demers. And Mrazek had to find that and make the save.
Ruth has his pass blocked by Point. John Cooper talked about Braden Point this year, said the puck just seems to stick to him. He's always around it. Konechny picks it free in the corner. 4th round pick.
This Point for the Lightning.
Repik works it across to Kovacs. A centering pass tipped just wide by Voracek. What a pass there by Repik. Racing up is Gudas to keep it alive. Vlasic stepped into him. Now Voracek back with it. Pivots in the corner. Plays it back now, the centering pass. Bounces away from Šimek. Held there by Gudas with a long shot, and the save is made by Pickard.
Kovacs goes across the middle of the ice to Voracek driving the net. He chips it wide. There's the tail end of the Konechny pass. As Konechny came out from the goal line, he's looking up the ice, and Jason Demers, who just completed the first of 7 years on his contract in Florida, had a great chance. Mrazek turned that aside.
Prior to this, the only time Jason Demers had played for Canada was in the 2013 Spengler Cup. DeHaan plays it around. Canada's had 9 of the last 10 shots in the game. Poked ahead for Skinner. He's got Scheifele with him. Jeff Skinner, 37-goal year for him in Carolina this year. Slides it back to O'Reilly. Feeds it back, and the hard shot taken there by Barry. That goes just wide. A centering pass, that time from Skinner. And it's knocked away. Plekanec knocked down O'Reilly. Now Plekanec falls. His pass is picked off by Scheifele. Now moved out. And away comes Pasternak. Drops, and Šimek has that shot go wide. Picked out by Šimek. A centering pass goes back for Kondratek. His shot off a leg. Werner at the point he goes. Cross ice pass to Pasternak. Shoot short side, and Pickard makes the save.
Well, Pasternak has been tremendous here in the first bit of this game. Such a dynamic player. He had an outstanding year for the Bruins this year. 34 goals.
And what a start to it for Pasternak. He scored 19 goals in his first 26 games.
Yeah, he certainly hit a wall towards the latter portion of the season. Just 20 years old as Pasternak has great things in front of him.
Pickard plays it around. It's knocked down by Verana. Matheson steps into him. Werner has it knocked away. Krejcik lost the puck to Duchesne. It's tapped back to Matheson. His pass goes off a stick over the head of assistant coach Dave Haxtell into the crowd. 2-0 Canada leads here in the second period, day 1 of the 2017 World Hockey Championship.
Et voilà, C'est le forward break de cette deuxième période, premier forward break de cette deuxième période avec nos mascottes qui tombent pas très loin. Est-ce que vous avez vu Astérix? Est-ce qu'Astérix est quelque part, je sais pas, par là?
Il est où? Ah, il est là, on peut pas rater.
Oui, Obélix.
Là, on a Obélix, et là, on a Astérix. Et j'ai essayé de mettre une super musique pour qu'on puisse faire une dance 15 ensemble, hein?
Allez, on va vous faire taper dans les mains avec Astérix et Obélix.
On y va!
Mike Matheson, the native of Pointe Claire, Quebec, has the second goal for Canada. In a 2-0 lead here, the tournament opener for Canada against the Czech Republic. Canada's won the last 2 World Championships. Depending on how you look at it, the last time Canada won 3 World Championships in a row is either the early 1950s, if you count the Olympics, but 3 World Championships in a row is the late 1930s. For a long time, the Olympics counted as the World Championship. Suffice to say, it's been a long time.
And it's hard to do.
Yes.
I mean, it's, you know, I think at times we get this thought in our heads that, oh, Canada wins all of these tournaments all the time. And, you know, the back-to-back gold medals ended a string of 5 straight years without a medal.
5 straight years they lost in the quarters.
No medals.
Braden Point works in. And of course, there was a long, long time between the Trail Smoke Eaters in 1961 and Canadian team that won in Milan in 1994.
From Trail, I know a lot of those gentlemen. They were a large part of our lives growing up in Trail.
Roman Horak works in, snaps that pass across, but it's knocked away by Point. A centering pass goes off the stick of Thomas Zahorna. Yarabek plays that towards the goal. It bounces down to Demers. And Point has it back for Canada. Point, Marner connecting the forward line again for Canada. This so-called fourth line.
A heck of a fourth line if you can put that together. You might have some cap problems down the road with it.
Combined age of 61. So basically Yager and whatever center he plays with. In comes Barry, in shoots, and Tyson Barry has to go off the outside of the goal frame. Voracek plays it back up to center ice for Kovac. Kovac for the trailer, Gudas. And Radek Gudas in, shoots, and a save by Pickard as Gudas with a nifty move, and right away causes trouble again.
There's 3 flyers in the middle of that scrum. Gudas, Voracek, and Wayne Simmons.
And Shen was also in the neighborhood.
It's best to stay out of the neighborhood.
That's a tough neighborhood.
Yeah, it starts to get a little crowded in there. Go for a walk.
There's a lot of Canadians. Those folks are from Germany. They took the bus in today to watch us. They live not far from Cologne, actually, but wanted to come see Canada play, so bussed in. It is a great experience.
The tournament is pretty awesome when you think about it from the European perspective. All these players that are coming over from Canada, they've only seen them on television. They have their favorite teams and their favorite players, and now they get a chance to watch them live. Remember when Crosby came? It was a mob scene everywhere that he went here. And the other thing is because everything is so close in Europe, it's easily travelable. You get fans from all over the place coming to watch their countries.
O'Reilly Center that just missed Shifley with that. You'll see a lot of Czech flags ringing the arena. They all have place names written on them. The Czech fans travel and they write their hometown on the flag. And now the play called offside at the Canadian line. Jan Ruta plays for Chomutov in the Czech League. The Czech League was hurt by the fact that a number of top Czech programs decided to play in the KHL. And they've mostly migrated back. It's been an ongoing debate. And of course, with Helsinki's Jokerit team playing in the KHL, that's hurt Finnish hockey as well. Kondratek for Yarabek. His long shot through the traffic got through, and Pickard kicked that away. Kondratek has a bounce off escape. McKinnon slides it ahead for Duchesne. In with Giroux. Matt Duchesne works in a backhand shot at the goalpost. What a shot by Duchesne on the backhand, hit the pipe. And the Czech net is off. Play continues until Canada gains possession. No, it'll continue now as Duchesne works in. In comes Demers with a shot. Now, normally they would blow the whistle once Canada gained possession because they knocked the net off, but no one saw it.
And the funny part is Mrazek didn't know either because he worked the play like the net was still on. There's Mrazek on the Duchesne play. When Mrazek goes back, it's that little bump and the net's off.
Mrazek knocked it off, yeah. So really the whistle should have gone once Mrazek knocked it off.
Duchesne had an excellent tournament for Canada last year. As we talked about, this year's not been so great for him. Maybe he could salvage a little bit of pride and a little bit of good feeling as you move into the summer where you enter a really uncertain time.
So Ray, we saw it 2 years ago. Brent Burns went through that year in San Jose where they played him on the wing in defense, and it was a bad year for the Sharks. He came to the World Championship and dominated.
He was so good in that tournament. And then the next 2 years, he's been among the elite defensemen in the league.
Konechny now will take the draw. Two longtime junior captains, Point and Moose Jaw. Konechny with the Ottawa 67s. Their teammates last year at the World Junior Championship.
And him and Konechny and Point look so similar on the ice. Same build, same right hand. Marner looks a little different on the ice, but these kids are, here's another great
feeds
shift.
It down Marner, feeds it down for Konechny, flips it back in front, bouncing puck knocked away by Repik. And Marner back with it. Feeds it down to DeHaan. In the corner for Konechny. And Travis Konechny stays on it. Finally roll off his stick. Verana has a chance for an odd man rush now for the Czechs as Repik comes in. Plays it around for Verana. And Marner pokes out ahead for Barry. In comes Tyson Barry. Flips it ahead for Konechny. Centers it for Marner. A bouncing puck. Marner can't get a shot away now. It dribbles down. And Mrazek hangs on to that.
Seen mostly great stuff from this line. A couple of times they've turned it over. Marner did in the first period. It led to a really dangerous chance from Roman Horak there. Travis Konechny does it. It's almost a Czech breakaway. Both times from overhandling the puck. And you can catch yourself, lull yourself to sleep a little bit when you're carrying the puck here because nobody's near you for a long portion of time. Then all of a sudden you run yourself into a corner. That time Konechny ran out of room and the Czechs almost got a break out of it.
Morrissey works in. Josh Morrissey, a nifty move on Kempney. Trying to flip that back in front. Morrissey still with it. Lays it down for Skinner. Skinner to Scheifele. This line connected on Canada's first goal as Scheifele set up O'Reilly. Scheifele feeds it across to Morrissey. Morrissey in, shoots, save made. As Mrazek knocked that away, Skinner couldn't reach the rebound.
Mrazek had to poke the puck away from Skinner.
Robin hands a long lead pass. That was deflected away. The pass for Skinner missed. And icing is called against Canada.
Josh Morrissey had a terrific rookie season in Winnipeg. Played all 82 games. 6 goals, and here he almost gets an assist as Mrazek can't handle his shot. Skinner's right on the top of the crease. And he's trying to pull it back around the poke check of Mrazek, but Peter Mrazek's able to poke it away.
Still 1-0 Germany, leading the United States. The Americans on a power play there in Cologne. We'll be there for the medal round games. Should Canada finish first or second in its group, it will play its quarterfinal game here. Otherwise, it'll be off to Cologne. The semis and the final are in Cologne. Voracek a shot, that goes just wide. And now Ruta a shot that goes off the leg and bounces down to Voracek. A centering pass. And a shot fired right on, and the save is made by Pickard on Lucas Rattle.
Oh, Rattle doesn't one-time this puck. That gives Pickard the side. Pickard's able to get across the front of the net. Voracek goes right through the seam. Now, when Rattle doesn't shoot the puck, that gives Pickard time to push hard and get back across square to this puck. That's a terrific save nonetheless. Rattle's probably better off to try and one-time that before Pickard can square up.
Rattle played for Spartak Moscow in the KHL. So many of these Czech players played major, junior, North America, and so many turned pro and play in the KHL. Vlasic knocks it up to center ice. And a hand pass called. 9:21 to go here in the second period. Czechs have not won a medal in the last 4 World Championships. They went 6-1 in their group last year, looked really good, then lost their quarterfinal matchup to the United States in a shootout.
I like their style this year, what we've seen here in the first half of the game. Now, you got to remember, they're still trying to add a couple of players that would bolster their attack, bolster their skill level, and they'll have to wait to see who those players are. But I like the aggressiveness. We don't always see that from the Czechs.
And of course, it's on big ice, so the defensive style is more conducive as the puck goes up and out of play. One of the great myths in the game is that bigger ice leads to more scoring.
In the games that I played, the most chances always were in Boston and Buffalo, the smallest rinks.
Right.
Because when there's a turnover, you're literally one stride from a dangerous shot.
Well,
here, you're one stride from 6 strides away from a dangerous spot.
So look at the Olympics played on big ice as opposed to the Olympics played on the NHL surface. The Olympics played on the NHL surface are significantly higher scoring.
There's just way more room on the ice that's not dangerous. Nobody defends the 10 feet near the boards. They just wait for you to come to where the danger areas are.
Now to Hahn tied up. Barry gets to it, trying to find Duchesne. That pass is knocked down. Now Giroux has it back. Claude Giroux plays a rink wide for Duchesne, but the play is offside at the Czech line.
You get new teammates playing together. McKinnon was offside twice on that play. He was offside, he came back onside, and then he went offside again as he was trying to straddle the line while Giroux was trying to find a way to get the puck to Matt Duchesne.
We saw Voracek chirping at Giroux there. Voracek telling our Darren Drager that he was going to give it to Giroux all night, and Darren said, how about Wayne Simmons? No, I'll leave him alone. Simmons, also known as the Spider for that long reach, which he's not afraid to use.
And he has developed into one of the league's premier power forwards. He'll do just about everything for you.
Now Berner picks it off for the Czechs, a long shot, and Pickard makes the glove save.
Pickard hasn't looked unsure one time in the Canadian net. I've been really impressed with the first half of the game for Cal Pickard. Played a couple of games last year in St. Petersburg against Hungary and France.
Yeah.
This year, I would suspect he'll get a chance to run with the ball a little bit with Chad Johnson as his backup.
And Eric Comrie is the 3rd Canadian goaltender here. So Ryan O'Reilly will take the face-off on this side of the ice and win it cleanly. Vlasic got clipped with a high stick, so a penalty coming out of the Czechs. As it's fired down to the Czech zone. And Canada with a 2-0 lead will go to the power play when we come back to Paris. Czechs will be short-handed here as Thomas Sahorna goes off for high-sticking Canada's Marc-Edouard Vlasic. And the Canadians who scored in the power play earlier in this period, a goal by Mike Matheson, get the man advantage again.
Jacob Voracek is over arguing with the officials, and he's been doing so for much of the commercial break, and then Claude Giroux came over to see if there was anything he needed to learn about. Eventually they break up the meeting, and Canada one power play goal in this period the point shot by Michael Matheson will go back to the power play again.
And they'll send out the 3 flyers, Giroux, Shen, and Simmons in front. Matheson and Skinner out there as well. .7:53 to go in the second period. Jeff Skinner has that poked away. And Robin Hansel almost off to the races there. Hansel not related to Martin Hansel of Minnesota, spelled differently. And now Matheson back with it. As the power play goal for Canada here in the second. Giroux sweeps that ahead. Chipped ahead by Skinner, but that was knocked away by Šimek. And if he hadn't done that, Skinner was off to the races. Matheson drops it off to Giroux. Claude Giroux up for Simmons. Simmons back for Giroux. It skips down to the Czech goal, and Mrazek hangs on to that. We first saw Peter Mrazek at the 2012 World Junior Championship. He was the top goaltender in that event. The Czechs won a bronze medal, and he was virtually the entire reason why.
I remember his celebration when the Czechs scored to clinch the bronze, and Mrazek went and leapt over top of the pile.
Yes.
And I remember saying to Ken Holland, I don't know if you've got a goalie, but you might have a high jumper here. And Mrazek was just an amazing performance, one of the best I've seen at the World Junior Tour.
There's Marner, slaps it down to O'Reilly, back to Marner. A little backhand pass in front to Barry. Barry feeds it across to McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon pulls it out of the corner. And McKinnon to Scheifele, back to McKinnon. To Scheifele, works it back door, that's kicked away from Kempner. There's a tap in for Marner. And now a race for it. Barry goes back with Verana bearing in on him. Tyson Barry, the native of Victoria, BC. Drops it back to O'Reilly. And away comes Marner, Mitch Marner. Jumps it across the line, drops it off to Scheifele. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Play back for Barry. Barry to Marner. Has room, sends it back in front, knocked away by Kondratek. And Barry has it back. Plays it indeed to O'Reilly. Canada begins a change in the power play. Here's Marner. Sends it back across. That pass ticked away by Repik. McKinnon shovels it back for Marner. Throws it back in front, kicked away by Mrazek, and then shot wide by O'Reilly. Scheifele got knocked into the Czech goal. Play continues as Mrazek makes the glove save. And Mrazek then gives Scheifele a shove.
Mrazek wants to know why Scheifele's back in the net behind him. Well, the reason he is Kondratek just cleared him out of the crease. The puck was nowhere near him. Watch the bottom of your screen as O'Reilly misses the net, and Kondratek fires Scheifele into the net. O'Reilly's got the rebound, he misses the net. Whoa, there goes Scheifele. Now he's going to hide behind Mrazek. He doesn't want to be there with this shot coming in. Mrazek doesn't like him standing in the crease.
So the officials conferred, and normally on a crease violation, the face-off would come outside, but they determined Scheifele was pushed, shoved, whatever you want to call it, into the net. Zahara back out of the penalty box and almost had a breakaway there. 5-on-5 here with 5:45 to go in the second period. Bank back to Voracek. And Jarabek, a long shot, bounces around in front as Giroux clears the rebound away.
This is exactly the same scenario we saw in the first game.
Kovac works in, drops for Voracek, back for Kovac. Oh, he fished it wide. Kovac had a wide open net, and Kovac can't believe it. Screaming as he goes back to the Czech bench.
Kovac is probably the guy they wanted shooting that puck to. One of their top players, one of their most productive players. A gorgeous feed from Voracek, and he shanked it wide of the empty net.
You can't believe he missed.
Especially him. He's got good hands. I'm amazed he missed it. He just miscued it from 2 feet.
In comes Konecny now. Travis Konecny in, shoots, and Mrazek gets a glove on that. Konecny picks it back out. And the pass is picked off by Jarabek. Out to center ice. And chipped in by Pasternak as Morrissey goes back and plays it smoothly around for Matheson.
I was saying that just before that chance that this is the scenario we saw in the first game. A 2-0 lead. a late second period goal, and then the game was on. And Kovac almost gave us the same scenario.
Pasternak fires that down to the Canadian zone. Pickard out to play it. Shots are even at 18 apiece. Marner flips that down to the Czech zone. Barry. Up ahead to O'Reilly for Skinner. Skinner sends it, goes off the heel of Gudas. And Šimek plays it around for Michael Repik. Lead pass for Werner, that's knocked away by Barry. Now Repik has to wait for teammates to get back onside and works it in. Repik centers it, Vrana in, shoots, and Skinner got a stick on him to knock that wide. Now Barry back with it, ahead to Skinner, Jeff Skinner. Backhands that down to the Czech zone as Scheifele goes in for it. Kondratek took it away, gave it up to Skinner. Skinner with a shot, Mrazek save, rebound, loose in front. They kick away at it, and finally picked up by Kempny. Kempny winds his way in. Kempny knobs it back for Kondratek, in, shoots, and Pickard eats that up.
Jan Kovac is going to play give and go with Jakub Voracek. What a pass. And he's in the crease almost. This puck is right on his tape. He can't believe it. As you watch him go back to the bench, oh, get me out of here. Time to go for a change. As Kovac has scored 20-plus goals 4 straight years in the KHL and 23 goals this past year for Magnitogorsk. And as I said earlier, he was probably the guy they would want trying to finish that beautiful feed off from Jakub Voracek.
Kovac. Remember that Magnitogorsk team that went to the KHL final against St. Petersburg and led the KHL playoffs in scoring. Now brought in by Repik. Lays it across and the pass back for Voracek from Kovac. Jerabek. Behind the goal, Jerabek gets it back. Down to Kovac. 2:45 to go in the second period. Demers. Plays it around for Simmons. Voracek. Plays it back for Kovac. It's his own pass back. Jerabek swings it across. Ruta for Voracek. Swings it across to Kovac. A centering pass kicked away by Pickard. And the puck goes over the glass and out of play.
In North America, when you're defending plays like that, you're more aggressive getting out to the guy with the puck. What Canada started to do was run towards the puck, and then they sucked in back tight. So when Kovac tried to go back across the front of the net, Canada's defenders were still stacked in tight enough to deflect it away. If you chase the puck on the big ice, that's where the seams open up and you can't cover it. It's just too big. He's sitting there and he will not believe that until they play again. You know, until like he gets a chance to sleep on it.
Key moment in the game too is Gudas. Slides it down, it's poked away by Giroux. By the way, second period over in Cologne. Thomas Greiss has made 28 saves. Germany leads the US 1-0 after 40 minutes. In front of a raucous gathering in Germany. About a 3.5-hour train ride from here.
You know how to get us to the train station? Ish? No? Good. Okay, good. You know, that's part of your job here. Get me to where I need to go.
I got lots of jobs here. Trust me, I know. I have lots of response. Got to find restaurants. Hard to do here.
Well, that was really hard.
Yeah.
So the first night, Gord says, we're going to go to a restaurant that I went to in 1998. I think it's this direction. I don't know the name or the street.
Did you find it?
Well, you said that was it, but nobody's really sure if it was. It was a good call, but we also passed by 17 other restaurants on the way. There doesn't seem to be a shortage.
I said it was either the Bistro de Paris or Pasternak Shoots, that's blocked, or the Café de Paris, something like that. And there's one of those in every corner in Paris. Gudas. The host team, by the way, will play its tournament opener tomorrow night against Norway. 41-year-old Cristobal Ue once again in goal. He looks younger every year we see him.
I don't know if he has any stress in his life, but the answer has to be no.
We got a nice parting gift from the Chicago Blackhawks. So.
Well, they gave him the parting gift.
Yeah,
they said, you were parting, and here's your $5 million for the next 3 years that we owe you. Per, not total.
Yeah.
Go to Switzerland for the next 3 years.
Okay, if I must. Classic. Up ahead for it, connecting to Point. In comes Braden Point along with Marner. Point drops for Marner. And that pass is broken up by Zahorna. Final minute now, the second period. Canada leading 2-0. Czechs had a golden opportunity moments ago. Jan Kovac flipped wide of an empty net. Now knocked down. Burner centering pass for Anna, turned away point blank by Pickard.
Outstanding again for Pickard.
In comes Point with it now. Braden Point has Kondratek step into him. And the changes. Marner pulls it up, centers it, and Barry takes a shot. The Verena deflected wide. Another feed from Marner. And Hahn takes that long shot. Time winding down here in the period. Point looks ahead. Kempney knocks it down. Trying to find Repik up ahead, but that's broken up. And O'Reilly has it back. O'Reilly across the line for Skinner. The time expires here at the end of the second period. Mike Matheson scores a power play goal for Canada to add to the lead. It's 2-0 after 2 periods.
Matheson's goal gives Canada the breathing room, but it's Calvin Pickard that's been the story for me. 21 stops for Canada so far. That latest one on Peter Verana from right on the doorstep as Canada turned it over.
2-0 the lead. You're watching the 2017 World Hockey Championship. Yeah. White knuckle time here in Paris.
IIHF.
On y va? On my count! 3, 2, 1, Et ben là, clairement on est en battu, 92. En tout cas, sur toute la quinzaine, on va faire ça à chaque match. Et puis bah, en tout cas, voilà, pour le moment, le record, c'est 92 décibels.
On se rassemble effectivement les supporters tous réunis de la République tchèque et du Canada qui arrivent à faire le record. Est-ce qu'il sera battu dans cette période? On verra ça jour après jour.
Si vous voulez savoir, vous pouvez évidemment acheter les tickets tout au long de cette quinzaine. Vous pouvez sortir même ce soir, aller acheter en billetterie les matchs pour la semaine prochaine et même pour dès demain d'ailleurs. On a une très belle affiche, on vous en parlera à la fin de match, surtout le programme officiel aussi, Pierre.
Oui, il y a le programme officiel dans toutes les boutiques officielles. Il y a des goodies également, parce que je pense que c'est intéressant d'arriver ici, de repartir avec un souvenir. Alors vous allez être textile, vous allez brancher autre chose. Dans le il y a plein de goodies très sympas, aux couleurs de ce mondial 2017. Donc surtout n'hésitez pas avec le programme. Ensuite, des matchs dès demain.
On est à 1 minute 30 avant la reprise du match, la troisième période. DJ, mets-nous un petit peu de watt là. On va commencer à relancer tout ça.
It was
O'Reilly scored Canada's first goal in the first period. Mike Matheson struck in the second. Canada with a 2-0 lead after 40 minutes on day one of the 2017 World Hockey Championship in Cologne. Germany still leading the U.S. 1-0 in the third period. The U.S. had a series of power plays there, but has been unable to connect in front of a raucous German crowd in Cologne, one of the two host cities for this 2017 World Championship. Next year's tournament is in Copenhagen, so the Danes cannot be relegated this year. That was the situation for France and Germany a year ago. Demers plays it across to the Han. The team's opened this third period 5-on-5. Shemek watched there by O'Reilly, throws it ahead, and the pass knocked down at center ice by Demers. Brought in now by Voracek, steps around O'Reilly. Jacob Voracek drops, and that shot taken by Rattle was blocked. Looked like Vlasic got in the way. Vlasic leads all players through two periods with 18.5 minutes played.
It was a good block by Vlasic. As Voracek waited for Rattle to get into the position to one-time the shot, and Vlasic read it and was able to keep himself in the middle of the shooting lane.
Gudas for Pasternak. That pass picked off by Konechny. And Konechny, Point, and Marner go back to work again for Canada. They have been in the middle of things tonight. Almost every shift they've created something right.
I don't recall, outside of a turnover that led to a scoring chance against, I don't recall them spending any time in their zone at all.
Here they come again. Konechny works in, shoots, and Mrazek fights that off. Now Gudas back on it, plays it across to Kempny. Michael Kempny signed by Chicago out of this tournament as a free agent. Spent the entire year with the Blackhawks. Marner works in. Mitch Marner plays it back down low, trying to find Point with it. Now moved out by Krejcik. Rana taken down by Matheson, goes hard into the end boards. That was a solid sounding collision. Now the centering pass from Krejcik just missed. Or Jarabek rather. And back comes McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon works in. McKinnon's still on it. Feeds it down to Giroux. Claude Giroux. Bangs it back to Matheson with a rolling puck. Matheson looks down. And Krejcik got in the way of that. Now Duchesne back on it. And Berger goes rink wide for Jarabek. No matter what the score, the Czechs will never stop doing this. And what a move here, walking in, a great chance there for Shemek, turned away by Pickard. The penalty coming now to Canada. Must have been the singing. Verona plays it back, and the shot taken there by Ruta, kicked away by Pickard. The Czechs still in possession now, 6 skaters on 5. Voracek, who came on, plays it around for Ruta. Voracek centers it. McKinnon got a stick on that, but not possession. And finally touched up by Shen. And Josh Morrissey will go off for Canada as the Czechs get an early power play here in the third period.
Radim Šimek scored 11 goals this year in the Czech Extraliga as a defenseman who goes all the way through Canada's defense, splits the D, and when he gets to the inside, Josh Morrissey is going to take the penalty there as the Czechs earn a power play on a bold rush up the middle of the ice. We'll see if they can get themselves on the board here.
Now, for those of you who have been watching the Stanley Cup playoffs for the last month or so, you're saying that's a penalty?
No, of course not. You're just baiting me now, aren't you?
I am.
I said the other day, I think as a prerequisite to a playoff game, they should take the rule book to center ice and burn it. Because whatever they're calling only encompasses about 1 page of that rule book.
I said to you during a game in the Montreal Rangers series, short of putting the puck over the glass, what would you have to do to get a penalty in the third period?
See, I just don't think that's the right way for it to play. When you say you don't want the officials to determine the game, well, they kind of are, because you're dumbing the game down.
Now Kovac tries to slide that through, and Pickard gets a pad on that. Jan Kovac is going to have nightmares about tonight. An empty net miss late in the second period.
The top offensive centerman right now, the Czechs have talked about hoping for David Krejci.
Pasternak winds in, Matheson breaks it up. Minute 15 to go in the Czech power play. Remember, they had a long power play in the first period, including 5-on-3 time, didn't connect. As Kovacs plays around for Pasternak. Voracek works around Killorn. Voracek directing traffic. Feeds it back to Kempney. In, shoots at the leg and goes wide. It went off the skate of Calvin DeHaan. And now Kempney can't hold the line. Voracek waits for it, along with Pasternak. Drops it back to Pasternak, who's tied up there by Killorn. For so many years, Ray, Czech players would come to North America to play major junior, then two of them didn't. Tomas Hertl and then Pasternak.
They were both drafted in the first round.
Both first-round picks, and both have been off to great starts in their NHL careers. Hertl's been somewhat derailed by injury.
But that's where the Czech Hockey Federation will continue to try and sell their young players. See what happened with Pasternak, see what happened with Hertl. It doesn't matter if the guys are 38 years old to the players today. These are young guys that they will all know, they'll all connect to, and they hope that helps continue to grow their junior program.
They've also changed their rules so that teams get a roster exemption for keeping young players on.
Another kill for Canada.
Yeah, Morris, who steps out. And is played ahead by Demers. One shot on goal on that power play for the Czechs.
The Czechs have played an excellent game. Their power play has really let them down here. You mentioned that power play, the 5-on-3 in the first period. And
by the way, the words of that song are saying, if you are not hopping, you are not Czech.
When we were in the subway, the subway cars in Prague, they were hopping. The car literally were bouncing as the people were singing. It was after the game, we were jammed in there like sardines, and oh, it was just outstanding.
Glove down by Barry, and Tyson Barry works his way in as Canada's changing. Under 15 to go here in the third period. Canada's won 19 of its last 20 games at the World Hockey Championship. The only loss in the last 2 years to the Finns in the group stage last year. They avenged that with a win in the gold medal game in Moscow.
The Finns were undefeated until that point, and Canada shut them out 2-0 in the gold medal game. I thought they played a textbook perfect game. The Finns just didn't get anything of danger against Canada in that game.
Michael Berner played for Barrie and Saginaw in the OHL in the mid part of the last decade, 2004 to 2006.
Led the Czechs in the tournament last year at 4 goals and 3 assists.
In comes Skinner. Look at the skating by Skinner. Fires that wide. The figure skating background of Jeff Skinner, well documented, but his edge control is remarkable.
So smooth.
Now O'Reilly, down to Scheifele. Mark Scheifele. Holds, works it back in the corner, tries to play it back, picked off by Repek. And Berner chips that down to the Canadian zone. In comes Berner on it now. His pass intercepted by Scheifele. Runs it ahead to O'Reilly. O'Reilly banks that down to the Czech zone. That goes good as the Scheifele steps into him. Šimek. In, shoots. Pickard makes the glove save and hangs on. 2-0 Canada leads at the 2017 World Hockey Championship.
Voilà, on va les retrouver sur les écrans dans quelques instants. Les meilleurs supporters de cette partie, c'est le Skoda Fan of the Game.
Now in the big screens, the challenge Skoda Fan Game. Who was the best supporter?
Czechs talking over on their bench, trying to find a way to break through. Same story is true in Cologne, where the U.S. is out shooting Germany 12-2 in the third period so far, still trailing 1-0. Thomas Greiss having himself a night in the opener for the Germans. Earlier today, in that building, Russians beat the Swedes in a shootout. Here, the Finns blew a 2-0 lead, allowed Belarus to come back and tie it, and eventually won it in a power play goal, 3-2.
That shootout between Russia and Sweden, there was just one goal in the 6 shots. Artemi Panarin was the only one that scored.
That would have counted for 2.
That was a beauty. Patience.
Skill.
Yeah, if you like all of that. But the Russians have 3 goaltenders. Like everybody names 3 goalies. They're all under 22 years old.
Good to say that skip by as Kovac goes back to pick it up. Plays around for Šimek. And now it's icing called against the Czechs with 13.5 to go. And look at the scoring so far tonight.
And what a play by Mark Scheifele. Early in the first period, he finds Ryan O'Reilly, and then early in the second period, within the first minute, Michael Matheson's point shot hit the bottom of Peter Mrazek's glove and went in. Canada with a 2-0 lead at that point, and that's all we've got so far.
Amazing. Voracek moves it ahead as Šimek comes in and his pocket picked by Morrissey.
Well, Šimek has been up the ice here in the third period several times. He had that rush that through the last power play there. He jumps up in the middle of the ice as John Cooper is trying to figure out how he wants to use his team. As much as you've seen these players all before and coached against them, how you use them when you're in charge is more a feel thing and who else you have available. And he, Hackstall and Gallant, the assistant coaches are learning as they go, like most of these teams do.
The 37th U.S. shot has gone in. Connor Murphy has tied the game at 1.
Connor Murphy has become a mainstay of this tournament for the U.S. He's the captain this year.
And he scores in international hockey for Team USA, going back to his days with the national junior team. Not necessarily a big offensive player in the NHL, but sure is internationally. Kempney's stick breaks, the shot goes wide, and McKinnon gets bumped there by Kondratek. Now McKinnon trying to poke that free for Duchesne, and does. Duchesne trying to center it, that pass broken up by Yarabek. Now Giroux at center ice pokes it ahead, out of the reach of Duchesne, and Kondratek goes back to pick it up. Yarabek being shadowed there by Shen. Kondratek for Pasternak. In comes Pasternak now, tied up by Killorn. Killorn stays with him, and DeHaan has it back. This is Killorn's first international tournament for Canada at any level. Simmons on it now. Wayne Simmons plays it back to Shen. Back in the corner, and racing to it is Krejcik. He got hacked there by Killorn. Out to center ice it goes, and Repik little chip there for Vrana. In for Berner, in, shoots. That was blocked by DeHaan. And Calvin DeHaan plays it around for Alex Killorn. Moves that to center ice.
Quietly, DeHaan's had a good game. He's had a couple of blocks here in the third period.
Goudis winds his way in. O'Reilly knocks him off the puck. And Pickard plays it around for Demers. A long lead pass finds O'Reilly. In comes Ryan O'Reilly with it now. Pivots back in the corner. And the puck taken away by Zahorna. Thomas Zahorna. In across the line comes Zahorna. Drops it off. And Hansel couldn't connect there. Robin Hansel lost the puck. Hansel was in the middle of a dispute during the directorate meeting apparently yesterday. The Czechs inadvertently registered him as Hansel. In comes Point now, shoots, and the save is made by Mrazek. Now, under some circumstances, that would be considered an ineligible player, but they cleaned it up, and Robin Hansel is permitted to play. If you register the wrong birth date, the player's ineligible.
That's why that directorate meeting takes 3.5 days. We were told last year one of the coaches fell asleep at the meeting.
Long shot by Konecny, and the save is made by Mrazek.
Once his team is registered, he was just sitting there. You can't get up and leave, and he had a little snooze, and I guess that's one way to get through the meeting.
They travel well, don't they, the Czechs?
They do. They're enthusiastic. I was listening to some fans. There was a Finnish fan and a Czech fan that were talking in the concourse between periods, and they were complaining that you can't buy beer inside the arena here.
Yeah, you have to go outside and get a beer.
This seemed to be quite a problem for the two of them. They were on their way to solve the issue. And even though they're not here, there's probably some Latvians that are in
the Czechs would no more have a building without beer than have it without bathrooms.
Yeah.
Duchesne chips it in. He's got Giroux with him. Duchesne swings it back in front. Mrazek kicked that away for an on-rushing Claude Giroux. Now Kovac back the other way for the Czechs. Knocked away by DeHaan. Ahead he goes for Duchesne. Duchesne feeds it for Giroux with a quick shot of Mrazek. Knocked that away. Hit him in the mask. The referee checks him to make sure he's okay. That used to be an automatic whistle in international hockey. Now the referee checks. And Mrazek said, I'm okay to continue. DeHaan with a shot goes off a leg and wide. Bounces down to Duchesne. Past the midway point now, the third period. Duchesne takes a return pass from Barry. Duchesne shovels it back in front. DeHaan moved up. And Calvin DeHaan swings it back for Giroux. It skips off his stick, and Giroux has to dive to knock that away from Kovac. And the changing now gives Voracek some time to come across the line for Plekanec. Shovels it back in front. That goes off to Demers and wide. And Killorn finds Shen. Braden Shen with Wayne Simmons. Simmons goes in on Gudas. They collide in the corner. Shen comes in. Three Flyers battling for that puck. Pasternak got slashed on the hand there.
Czechs are going to go back to the power play.
And the slashing call is made, so Alex Killorn will go off, and the Czechs will go to the power play with 9:14 to go in the third period.
There's the slash by Killorn. And
Team Canada, player number 71, 2 minutes, slashing.
Drops his stick in the process, and so the Czechs can't ask for a better chance here. I mean, they've had a number of power plays in this game. Canada's penalty killing has been excellent. And the Czechs still stuck with an egg on the board.
Plekanec, Chervenka, and Horak, the forward line for the Czechs. Remember, that was the end of a shift for the Voracek line, so they'll grab a breather and let this line go up to start the power play. .9:14 to go here in the third period. The face-off, won by O'Reilly. Now pounded off the boards by Demers and back down to the Czech line. Kondratek. Back for Jan Ruta. Way up in the air, bounces that down in the corner, goes after his own shoot in. Plekanec trying to dig it free. And does as Demers steps into him. Vlasic races to it. Can't clear it out as Ruta holds the line. In for Horak, back to Ruta. Ruta to Horak. Works in, centers it, that hit Chervenka right in the face.
That was Plekanec's deflection. It went up and hit Chervenka. And he's slowly getting his way back to the Czech bench.
That's the second time he's been clipped. He got hit with a high stick in the first period as well.
Matheson got him with the stick in the first.
Voracek works in on a minute to go now on the Czech power play. Throws it back at the point for Kovac. Kovac feeds it back to Kempny. Quick shot, and Pasternak tipped that wide. Pasternak back on it. Kempny found him perfectly, and Pasternak tipped it wide. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Voracek works in. Plays it back to Kempny. Across he goes to Pasternak. Shoots! And Pickard makes the save on that. Voracek able to hold the line now for the Czechs. Feeds it back to Kempny. Down to Voracek. Feeds it back, and Pasternak misses on the one-timer. Matheson to the line, but not out. Held by Kempny. Back in the corner he goes for Pasternak. Radil standing in front. Final seconds down on the power play. Kempny to Voracek. Works in, a centering pass. Oh, what a chance. Rebound, score! Radil pokes it home on the power play, and the Czechs are on the board with 5 seconds left in the man advantage.
Well, Calvin Pickard almost pulled off an amazing save again. as the Czechs started to hold the puck in the zone before Lucas Radel pokes in the rebound. Voracek's going to go across. Oh man, that's Kovacs again. But this time it ends up in the net as Radel is on the near post. Kovacs hits the goal post. Unfortunately for the Czechs, the puck bounces right to Radel. And with 7 minutes left, it's a 1-goal game. Power play goal now, each team with one.
So the slashing call on Alice Killord cost Canada power play goal, a 2-1 game.
À 52 minutes et 41 secondes de but pour l'équipe de Czech inscrit par le numéro 60.
Patrick Hager just scored for Germany, 2-1, they lead in the third. Now loose in the corner, scooped up by Repic. Michael Repic with a shot, that's blocked. Picked out now by Demers, who moves it back to center ice. Late pass for Repic. Got it there by O'Reilly. You'll see lots of Ryan O'Reilly here late in this third period now, along with Vlasic and Demers on defense. Bouncing puck goes to Vlasic. Bumped there by Repic. And now O'Reilly just punch 9-iron that out as Jarabek picks it up. Skinner's all over him. Skinner trying to force that puck free. And does. Krajcik steps into him as Marner comes in to help out. Marner trying to work it free. A 6-man scrum for the puck. That thing is taking a beating. And finally picked up by Horak. Matheson knocked it out of midair, backhanded to the head. As Krajcik goes back to the loose puck. Inside 6 to go here in the third period. 2 1-goal games this afternoon. 2 1-goal games tonight. Now at the point, Kempny a shot. And his teammates a horn up high. And Horak has it back. Horak trying to center it. The pass is blocked by Giroux. Horak gets it back. Kondratek trying to hold. Marner was almost away there, but Kondratek held the line. Now picked up by Giroux. Lead pass finds Konecny in with Marner. Konecny works in, one-handed stick, fights off Kempny. Marner comes in to help out as well. Now a centering pass and a quick chance for Barry. Shoots, score! Tyson Barry drifts up from the point, snaps it home, and Canada's got a 2-goal lead back. And another sweet feed from that kid line for Canada.
It's a great play by Konecny as he goes back behind the net, finds Tyson Barry coming off the bench. Konecny's going to get outside of Kempny and battle for the puck and hold the puck, and then he finds Tyson Barry. Peter Mrazek's got to stop this after his team has got back to within 1. This goes right underneath Mrazek's legs. A poor goal for him to give up, and Canada leads 3-1. Beautiful play by Konecny, and Tyson Barry's got a goal and an assist tonight.
Just over 2 minutes after the Czechs had pulled within 1, Canada restored the 2-goal lead with 5:10 to go in the third period. The medal round, the semis and the finals are going to take place in Cologne. The arena might not be standing by the time we get there. The Germans with a late 2-1 lead on Team USA. That game available on TSN Go. Now Voracek centers it. Back it goes for Gudas. In shoots, he powdered that wide. Radel plays it back. Gudas again hammers it wide. Šimek being watched there by Duchesne. Duchesne knocks down that shot, plays it to center ice, points away with Nathan McKinnon. In comes Braden Point, works in, and the backhand pass disrupted by Gudas. Kovacs back the other way for the Czechs. Drops it back, picked off by Duchesne. Lifts it off the glass, but not out. Ruta. As Point retrieves his stick. Throws it ahead. McKinnon plays it back out. Pasternak finds Plekanec. Thomas Plekanec bumped there by Shen. Finds Cervenka, who gets hammered there by Demers. And the point shot from Yarabek was blocked by Simmons. Now Pasternak lost the puck to Shen. And it's chipped in by Simmons. Mrazek out the play, and the corner goes for Yarabek. And Kaloran stepped into him. Ruta ahead for Pasternak. Centering pass knocked away by Kaloran. Now Pasternak has time. In shoots, blocked by Simmons. Another chance for Pasternak. That's blocked as well. Shen blocks that chance for Cervenka. Kadrantek works in. Thomas Kadrantek. Feeds it back to Kempney. Across he goes for Pasternak. Down to Cervenka. Feeds it back. Kadrantek a drive. Pickard makes the save. Kempney a shot. That's blocked by Shen.
They are hanging on here. Brayden Shen with a couple of excellent blocks. Canada gets a 2-goal lead on the Barrie goal, and
now a steal by Scheifele. What a move by Scheifele. In fires, and Mrazek makes the save. Mark Scheifele with a puck pick and move. Now Repik works into the glove save. Made by Pickard. 3-1 Canada leads here in the third period in Paris.
Allez, chers amis, il est temps de vous annoncer la nouvelle audience de ce championnat du monde. On est au deuxième match, mais quand même, présenté par Eventime, le partenaire officiel de la billetterie de ce championnat du monde IIHF. Et on a un gros score à vous donner.
Absolutely. The official game attendance is presented today by Eventime, one of the best partners here for the Ice Hockey World Championships.
Josef Jandac, the coach of the Czech national team, as he was last September at the World Cup. Brought these up. There's Vinny Prospel on the right. Prospel must still be living in Tampa.
got a pretty good tan going there, doesn't he? So an offensive zone face-off. The Czechs trying to create a play, and there's Dave Hackstall, the Philadelphia Flyers head coach, who's running the defense in this tournament, working with the Canadians to make sure everybody knows what their responsibilities are. The Czechs have pulled Mrazek here. 2:48 to go.
Saw Hackstall, Gerard Gallant, the assistant coaches, to head coach John Cooper, and the eyes in the sky, as he put it. I'm not the eye in the sky, I have two. Dave King, who knows a thing or two about international hockey.
I played for Dave at the World Championships one year. Enjoyable guy to be around. Pretty intense. But man, did he know the international game.
Draw won by O'Reilly. And now that clearing it up by Vlasic goes off the glass and out, and the face-off will stay in the Canadian zone.
Pasternak's lined up on the outside of the circle. If they can win the draw, you watch Pasternak step out for the one-timer, but there's O'Reilly with another face-off win.
Scheifele pokes it ahead to O'Reilly. And across the line, the play is called offside. 2:35 to go here in the third period.
Mark Scheifele had an assist on the first Canada goal. Such a tough guy to get a handle on. He's so big and strong, and his skating has really improved as his career has moved along here. Early in his career, he had to get stronger, and he's gone from 34 to 49 to 61 to 82 points.
Vlasic around for Demers and ahead to O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly banks that down. You have Brayden Point up there with O'Reilly now and Scheifele. So really three natural centers out there for Canada.
Interesting who John Cooper goes with to protect the lead.
Shifley feeds it back, in comes Giroux, pulls that wide. And now waiting for it is Claude Giroux. Giroux centers a point, tapped that back for Shifley. He misfired on it. Voracek brings it back the other way. Jake Voracek in across the line, being watched there by DeHaan. And DeHaan pokes it free for Shifley. In comes Shifley, drops it back for Giroux. That's picked off by Pastrnak. And Pastrnak winds in, but Konechny knocks it away. Marner comes on as well. So Marner on his 20th birthday. And Konechny out there protecting the lead for Canada. And O'Reilly will center the two of them. In comes Buchanan. Thomas Buchanan centers it. That's tapped wide by Cervenka. A chance there for the Czechs. And Mrazek out of the net, and they just miss shooting it down. And the faceoff comes back down to the Canadian zone.
The Czechs have been close several times around Calvin Pickard. Pickard has been outstanding. Oh, but Cervenka's going to the front of the net here. Plekanec's pass goes off Cervenka's shin pad and up over the top of the net.
In Czech Republic, timeout.
Timeout for the Czechs.
40 seconds to go in Cologne. Still 2-1 Germany. The United States has the goaltender out. Now the Czechs talk things over on their bench. Sets up the defensive structure for Canada.
And of course, Ryan O'Reilly's going to be out here taking the draw on this side of the ice.
Look how short that stick is for Kovac. It's like a souvenir stick.
Everybody likes something different. I had a very short stick. Some guys like really long ones. I found I could handle the puck better when it's short.
Thomas Greiss and Germany have beaten the United States 2-1 in their tournament opener, to the delight of the capacity crowd in Cologne.
Marner and Konechny are the two wingers out here.
Canada couldn't change after the icing on the missed empty netter.
But really no fear to have them on the ice, because I think that line's been their best today. With Point in the middle, they've been dangerous most every shift. O'Reilly wins the draw. They control it eventually out of the zone, and now they can roll the lines over. There's always such great options for Canada at this tournament when they're either looking for a guy on the power play or looking in this position to defend the lead.
Now Kovac with it. Mrazek slowly leaves the crease, now makes his way to the Czech bench as Voracek comes in, but the play's offside at the Canadian line. And Mrazek will stay parked on the Czech bench.
Much like his season, some really good moments tonight for Mrazek and some not so great moments. He stopped a breakaway, made a couple of really difficult saves, and then that third goal, which really took the air out of the Czech comeback. I mean, he's got to make that save.
Came across, made a great save on a one-timer. Now Skinner with the empty net, flips it ahead, and scores! Jeff Skinner flips that up, a little English on it, and the empty net goal gives Canada a 4-1 lead. It appears, though, this will be the only game on the opening day not decided by one goal. How about this?
Pretty nice hands by Skinner as I think he's trying to pass this into Matt Duchene's path. Duchene watches it slide into the empty net. Jeff Skinner a goal and an assist tonight.
And those fans who made their way here from Germany go home happy. If they decide not to stay for the weekend, might as well. It's Paris.
You're here.
We are.
59 minutes et 18 secondes.
Jeff Skinner, that's his 9th goal in 24 games for Canada at the World Championship. The empty netter. And now Killorn ahead to Simmons. Alex Killorn fires that down in the Czech zone. Canada back in action against Slovenia on Sunday. Czechs will take on Belarus. Loose in the corner, picked up by Braden Shan. So Canada has now won 20 of its last 21 games at the World Hockey Championship. And the two-time defending gold medalists opened the 2017 tournament with a 4-1 win over the Czech Republic.
There were some moments where Canada was back on their heels a little bit, but for the most part, I think John Cooper will be pleased with how Canada was able to play a lot of the game. They did run around in their zone and have some trouble with some of the Czech pressure. Calvin Pickard was outstanding in goal for Canada tonight.
Final shots were 29-28 in favor of the Czechs. And Jan Kovac will think about the ones that got away. As the Czechs fall to 0-1, Canada goes to 1-0. So the Russians in a shootout, the Germans in regulation, and the Finns in regulation, along with Canada in regulation, all winners on the opening day. And time now for the player of the game presentations, and then the Canadian anthem. Four consecutive years without a medal for the Czechs. Their last win over Canada came in 2010, the year they last won the World Championship.
The Czechs waiting for a couple of players. Will they go with Mrazek in their next game? Or will they make a goaltending switch? They played pretty well tonight. Just the 4-1 score doesn't really tell the story of how close the game was.
Time now for the player of the game presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best players of each team will be awarded with the official watch of the event given by Tissot, official timekeeper of the 2016 IIHF World Championship. Les montres seront remises. The watch will be given pour la République tchèque par Monsieur Petr Bridza, IIHF Council Member, et pour l'équipe du Canada par Mr. Chen Burke, Assistant General Secretary, Team Canada. Le meilleur joueur de l'équipe de République tchèque. The best player of each team, Czech Republic, number 34, Petr Mrazek. Le meilleur joueur de l'équipe du Canada, best player of Team Canada, le numéro 31, number 31, Calvin Pickard.
Pickard and Mrazek, the two goaltenders, are named the players of the game. In a 4-1 Canadian win, presented by another goaltender, Sean Burke.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne national de l'équipe du Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Team Canada.
try to. Don't sit too hard, it seems
No,
like, eh?
that moved more than I thought it would. Calvin Pickard of the Colorado Avalanche played for Canada last year in the World Championship. Played just 2 games, played pretty well. Gets the opening start for Canada in 2017 and plays really well against the Czechs.
Yeah, he played the 2 games last year against Hungary and France. Wasn't really tested, won both of the games. Started 50 times for the Colorado Avalanche in a really difficult season in the National Hockey League, but I thought he was brilliant. He was voted the player of the game, which doesn't always mean the right player got voted, but I thought for Canada in their opener, nobody was better than Pickard. He had some really difficult stopped a couple of in-tight chances, some misdirection plays, but he also looked really solid. When he stopped the puck, it stuck to him. He never seemed to be in a scramble mode. An excellent start to the tournament for Pickard.
Canada's coach, John Cooper, put 3 kids together, 21-year-old Braden Point centering 20-year-old Travis Konechny, and on his 20th birthday, Mitch Marner.
By far Canada's best line, most dangerous line. When they were on the ice, they had the puck outside of a turnover or 2, one by Marner, one by Konechny. That line had the puck in the offensive zone. They used their ability to maneuver around the zone. They used the big ice to their advantage. They spread out the Czech defenders and made several cross-ice passes that resulted in really good chances, the last being Konechny going back across the seam for Tyson Barrie for a 3-1 goal that really helped settle the game down after the Czechs had made it 2-1. All in all, a pretty good start for Canada, but I would say their best players were their youngest players today.
Canada's now won 20 of its last 21 games at the World Championship. Next up, Slovenia.
Great, guys. We're clear.
Thank you. Advantage. They spread out the Czech defenders and made several cross-ice passes that resulted